Hey everyone, this is part 3 of my cool tricks and hidden feature series. You can check out the others in the video description below. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Woo! Let's go, baby! First up, we have a neat interaction between Athena and Invis characters. It turns out when you ult someone, like Loki for example, while they're Invis, Athena's ult won't show up on the enemy player's screen. So instead, you'll essentially get a silent and invisible ult off. Next up, we have a really cool interaction between Khepri and Mama Brigitte. If someone gets rezzed by Khepri while Brigitte is still inside of them, she'll actually go with the res target to the res location, then pop out. This is actually pretty cool since it can go both ways. Brigitte can either finish killing the res target, or it's the perfect ambush setup to kill Brigitte. This time we have an interaction with Brigitte and her doppelganger, Nox. Apparently if Brigitte dashes into Nox, and Nox dashes into an ally, then Brigitte is stuck inside of Nox, thus being stuck inside of her ally until Nox dashes out. So you can effectively hold Brigitte hostage inside a teammate. Next up we have some hidden interactions with the spirit totems. For starters, Apollo can actually build up his passive off these mini totems. This is great for jungle fights, long drawn out firefights, or just to quickly stack your passive. Another interaction we have with these is with Death's Embrace. This item gives you % HP and mana back for every successful auto attack you land onto an enemy. Well, it turns out these totems count as that since you can infinitely sustain off of them. And not just your own ones either, but also the enemy ones. Here's a cool trick with Bake. His dash, which is considered a knockback and a stun, actually knockbacks targets who are immune to knockback and knockup effects. I think this is because it's similar to Sobek's pluck where it counts as a stun first, so you can actually pluck targets who are knockback immune. The same logic happens with Bake, where the stun is being applied before they're pushed. This one might be a bit more known, but if you didn't know, Pen actually affects your structure damage output. Here's a scenario where we have a 90 power no Pen versus Pen build. And what's cool is Dom overcaps your auto attack Pen, so you can get 60% Pen on your auto attacks. Having that with a full build EFG 3k pot and Silver Branch stacks will let you do this to structures. What? 810? Just to expand on overcapping, Upshart and Titan's Bane passives also allow you to overcap, but only for your first ability fired. Then there's a cooldown on it. So here's a scenario where I have 395 power, but one has Upshart allowing me to overcap to 60% pen, while the other has Charon's keeping me capped at 40% pen. There's been a few bugs that have been in the game for a while, one of them being the Heim Horn Bug. Whenever he knocks up Kuzumo with his horn while Kuzumo's dashing at him, if Kuzumo connects the dash instead of getting knocked up, he'll be in this weird push animation while pushing Heim. This effect also happens with Khepri Plug too. Here's a pretty hidden interaction with Disarm and Thoth. Apparently if you jump on Thoth and disarm him, he can't cast his 1. I think this is because his 1 once procced is being counted as an auto attack, which would make sense on why disarms prevent him from casting it. This is something super cool that I recently found out, but apparently Failnot can make jungle camps crit. I found this out during a ranked match when the enemy jungle camp was hitting way harder than normal, and I found out that Failnot was to blame. But wait, that's not all. Upon further testing, we found that Failnot can also make Firegiant crit you. And this effect even extends out to the Phoenix. Yep, that's right, structures have a 20% chance of critting you if you have the Failnot passive on you. Here's a cool thing to note with FG. If you're the one tanking it, in other words it's aggro to you, you actually receive a debuff from the Firegiant that reduces the damage you do to it. So if you're a damage dealer, it's really best to just wait for your tanks to start the FG. Not only for the fact that you'll take less damage overall from it, but you'll also have more DPS towards it. So everyone knows, or at the very least should know, that 325 pots is the official cap for protections. However, there are some abilities and items in Smite that allow you to overcap. The 3 items that let you do this are Redstone, Relic Dagger's glyph known as Eldritch Dagger, and Dawnbringer. So to fill my curiosity, I wondered which characters could officially get the highest protections using these items. And after some testing, I found Mulan to be the best candidate. As you can see, she can get up to 666 protections if you apply all of these item buffs combined with her buffs at once. However, I found Achilles to be the easiest overcap character to play with, since with Eldritch Dagger and Achilles 2 buff alone, you can overcap quite a bit. Did you know that time dilation affects structures? In fact, here's a side-by-side comparison where you can see the different Phoenix shot times. Currently there's only 2 abilities like this in the game, Oleron's ult and Bake's ult. And if you really want to get fancy, you can stack Emperor's Armor, one of these ults, and Runic Bomb all together for an insane slowdown effect, making it seem like the structure isn't even shooting. One cool trick you can do to Awilix is cancelling her ult with CC. I think there's some confusion where people think she's CC immune while casting her ult, but she's only immune to slows, roots, and knockbacks while she's ulting and for the duration of it. I'm showing an old clip here to illustrate this, but Purple Ankh, also known as Blighted Ankh, steals the healing that was reduced and gives it to you and your allies around you, so you can get some insane healing like this. Whoa, look at this Ankh healing, holy shit! Finally, I want to end off with something that unfortunately you're no longer able to do, as this was patched in Season 10, but I still thought it cool enough to add into this video. Terra used to be able to double proc Animosity with their passive active, so every time you swung an auto, you would get 2 procs of Animosity for the price of 1. Alright everyone, that's the video. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did and haven't seen parts 1 or 2 of this series, their links will be in the description below. See you in the next video.